Year. This is the first video of 2025, and so I decided that, usually around the first of the year, I redo my branding photos. So this year, keeping it rolling, keeping the tradition going, and I'm going to be sharing with you how I shot by myself, my self-portraits again, for my branding, photography work, and probably a little bit for the fashion side that I also do. So that's what this video is going to be about. Well, part one, I'm going to do a little series of how I break down each part of my sessions for myself. All right, so in this part one, we're going to be talking about the backdrop, the lighting, and just any other little things that I can remember. Now, I have my notes, but I'm also going to be doing a voiceover to show you how I set up the set. And also, this is going to be in my home, so it's a home studio setup as well. So stay tuned. We're going to get right into part one of my natural light, because I'm going to do all of this with natural light and one constant light. So stay tuned. We're going to get right into it. Before we get into the setup, we're going to talk about some tips or some little suggestions that I would give if you're using natural light as your main light or your key light for your photos. So the very first thing that I would suggest is, if you're in a home studio, to find out where the light is coming from, the direction of the light. So, and for my purpose, the direction of the light was coming from this big window that I have in my living room. So that would be my key light. And then two, what time of day are you wanting to do these photos? Because that plays a big part, and the time of year as well. But those two things definitely play a part in how your photos will look. So for me, I knew the direction of the light. I knew where I wanted to take the photos, first of all, because I knew where the light was going to be coming in from. And so I knew that, okay, I probably need to do this in the morning because the light is on the other side of the house and I don't want to shoot in direct sunlight. So know where you want to go in your house to shoot your pictures. Two, find out, the time of day that you want to shoot your pictures. And then three, look at the weather. Look at the weather and see what kind of day that would be, because that will also determine how the light will come into your space. I knew it's going to be kind of like an overcast day, and those are the best days, in my opinion. Overcast days are the best days if you're wanting to shoot in natural light. It is really the softbox in the sky. It gives you the most, natural and soft light. Okay, it's diffused light all day for overcast days. So those three things to get us started. In this part of the video, I'm just going to do a voiceover and just show you the equipment that I use and, where I decide to shoot, and just explain a couple of things of what's going on in the scene. You've probably seen this setup before if you've watched my previous videos. And this is the window that the light is coming in. And I always tether as well when I'm shooting, any type of studio work. I love to tether so that you can see what's going on. So this here is the backdrop. So the backdrop that I'm using is from Savage, and I got it from Amazon. And so I'm just showing you here where the backdrop is going to be positioned and where the light is going to be coming in. Again, I'm going to be using natural light for probably about 95% of the shoot. And I will add constant light just for a little bit of feel. So here I'm just setting up the backdrop, and I got this backdrop from Amazon as well. I think it's from Inmart. If I can find this exact one, I will link it. If not, I'll link others as well to help you in finding the backdrop. It is a pretty big one. The paper actually is huge as well, and I'll put the dimensions of everything on the screen so you can see how big this paper is. And I like using this type of paper because, I like using the paper because I can manipulate the backdrop if I need to. With paper, it's kind of easy to change the colors of it if I want to change the colors of the backdrop. And yeah. So here, this is my assistant, my husband. You've seen him before. He, usually helps me with all of my setups. He's the one that does my flying dress. When I'm shooting the flying dress sessions, he actually is the one that makes the dress fly. So I couldn't do it without him, of course. And yeah, he helps me set up most of the time. Having help setting up this backdrop is very important. So, I mean, you could always do it by yourself. You don't really need anyone else to help you. This next part, I'm just checking where I am in position with the backdrop. Am I in the center? Do I need to move it a little to the left, to the right? So yeah, we needed to move it over. And I was just checking my tether. That's another reason why I like to tether, because then I can see exactly what is going on in my frame, what's in frame. If I need to do any type of adjustments, you're tethered, you're ready to go. You're not, having to redo a lot of things because you missed it. So again, I'm just trying to figure out why this thing is not, because it wasn't focusing. My camera wasn't focusing like I wanted it to focus and track me how I wanted. I was getting frustrated. Yes, I was getting frustrated. But then I asked my husband to step in to help me, figure out, well, okay, let me get this right. Let me get this focusing right. So we finally got it right. And it was focusing and it was tracking. I had to turn my camera off and back on just so that it could, I guess, recalibrate itself or do whatever. Now, the next thing here is what I'm showing is the constant light that I used, and it is the newer constant light. It's a LED light. It has only like 2 switches. That's all I really need is like a dimmer, a yellow, a warm, and a cool setting on it. And you can also buy batteries that goes with it, if that's what you want to do, and it be portable. Got it from Amazon. I'll definitely link it below. And yeah, that is the light that I use. And again, I showed you how I tethered. So, and then here is the reflector. I've had this reflector for so long, so many years. You see it's all beat up. Silver on one side and it's white and translucent on the other. Not translucent, but it's diffused on the other side, white on the other side. So yeah, that is basically it for my setup. Part 2 is we're going to be going over my camera settings. So what camera I use, the lens that I use, the settings that I use for, indoor, because we are indoor. And then the final part 3 will actually be me shooting and me showing you the final result of those pictures. So you got to stay tuned for our 3-part series of this. Okay, thank you guys for tuning in, and definitely if you stayed this long and you stayed this far, you may as well go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button, comment, and tell me, if you have some things going on in 2025. Have you done your branding photos for yourself or for others since the new year is in? So definitely do all those things below, and until next time, I'll talk to you then.
Thanks for watching my GG channel. Period.